got posted on Facebook. On the Facebook post, that person got attacked by probably like 150 different comments of people saying like, "This is from COVID, and you're just fear mongering, or it's a lie." Now, the person that posted that letter defended literally every single comment and said, "No, I got this letter today, January 6th. Something is coming." Well, I have a relative who works for USPS. So, of course, I went right to them, and she hadn't heard anything about it yet. But the very next day she went to work, she was told that a union representative will be coming next week. They're going to come and talk about times of disaster and how they're going to operate through this disaster. I do believe the letter is real. Yes, I do believe something is coming. I think there was one point that Trump said that he's going to have National Guard deployed to almost every major city by March of 2026. When I hear mainstream media stuff, I just take it with a grain of salt. I usually don't even pay attention, but it does seem like it's real. This person did report back to me that they are going to be briefed on disaster situation and how they are going to move forward. It's got posted on.
All right, Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto thy foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. We know it's coming. We know something's coming. And normally, the strong indication of something's coming is when it's called for a great distraction. Okay. And they play this game. They had what you call it, a live, not a live, a test recently of a worldwide event, which they did something, but nothing happened yet. But the main thing I want to focus on, well, not the focus, but according to how they do things, when you notice their pattern, all their patterns got to deal with distraction, distraction, distraction. So what is the latest thing that the world needs to be distracted from? Last week, it was all about the Epstein list, which when he allowed it to be public, people ran right through it like it's nothing, and it was picking up steam. And after you had people that was questioning him, he said to the DOJ, case closed. We move on. Publicly, he said that, but he still was getting questioned. The focus then now became about the Super Bowl and Bad Bunny and all this, this virtual bullshit that's going on with beef and the turning point, and um, they're making a big stick out of nothing, right? But underlining all this shit, we got the financial crash, the dollar that's weakened dramatically. Things are not getting easier. But when he said by March 2026, it started to make sense. Either March or April, I could see something happening. You know, who knows if it's gonna be something long term? We don't know. We just, day by day, Lord is at work. Because we have to understand. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. As I'm thinking, we got to understand what's going on. That's Second Thessalonians 2, I believe it's 2. Slovakia. Oh, five. Okay, I know what it's saying now. First Thessalonians 5:1 or 5:2. I'll start on one. But of the times and seasons, brethren, I have no need that I write unto you. For ye yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So how if everything's going batshit crazy, how the Lord's gonna come in as a thief in the night? Everybody's gonna be heightened at that moment. So there's gonna be a period of time where the next verse comes to fruition. It says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as a travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Now we know when women have children, there's this thing called contractions. These contractions that takes place is it gets by the minute the baby's coming closer and closer. All right, and the pain gets tighter and tighter. But a woman doesn't go full blown X amount of minutes, 20 minutes straight of pain. Nah, it comes and goes. So the winter came, January came, snowstorm, potential civil war in Memphis. I'm not sorry, not Memphis, Minnesota. Still in the news, but it seemed like it kind of died down. And then the Epstein thing came about. So if you notice patterns, especially when they're trying to hide something, you will notice that the pattern is clear that something is about to go down. Is it like a calm before the storm that's taking place? And they're going to use the same tactic that they always have been using. All right. And it may not seem um, as if there's a break period because so much shit is going on simultaneously. Second Ezra 16 and 14. It says, "Behold, plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come unto the earth." So the plagues that are sent is these biological warfare. And the organization WHO, CDC, all these alphabet organizations has proven from time to time that they're willing and able to shut shit down. And with this guy, like Bill Gates, he also was part of that Epstein. All right. And he had made a promise years ago that something far worse is going to take place that's going to surpass what's going on. So the anticipation of a real plague is in the horizon. Now they had this plague that was taking place in India, and they made somewhat a big thing out of it. Okay, a lot of people that took the juicy juice many moons ago, either their body fully got incorporated with the shit that they took, or something in them have mutated. We don't know, but something is about to take place. It says, "The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it has consumed the foundation of the earth." Like and that's what the Lord said. What Luke 12:49 said. Matter of fact, let me not be shy with that one. um, Luke 12:49. It says, I come to set fire on the earth. What would I if it already be kindled? So the fire that's taking place, civil war, financial crisis, um, plagues, pestilence, potential famines, right? Everything is in plague. And who's responsible for that? All that? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is the one that's the Lord Himself said it. So, all matter of fact, let me get that since I'm in the neighborhood. Matthew 28 and about right here, 18. And Yahushua came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. So the power that's given, power of judgment. How to judge a matter, that's given unto Yahushua. So Yahushua is the one that is responsible for everything that's going on earth. And it's not for us to sit there and not think of him. He's on his way. He's making the perfect scenario, the perfect scene for his coming, his great, the day of that dreadful day that's written many, many years ago. All right. One of the main things is plagues. Okay. Something is going to take place. Well, you had, New York, they had nurses protesting, and I'm not, that might not hold no weight to anything long term, but we knew that juicy juice has truly affected these people. All right, that's why you have a lot of crazies that's out there, a lot of people that's not right in their head. Okay, we're gonna go back to this real quick. It says, verse 17: woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, beginning of evils, which means bad times. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So there's going to be everything's going to speed up all in once. That's what the Lord He's doing. It's not going to be this one isolated situation, one distraction to distract people. Now it's going to be constant. All right, disaster here, disaster there. One thing is not going to just overtake everything. Like how we assume people are going to lose it because, like the scripture says, the great tribulations. All right. And part of the great tribulations is multiple things happening at once. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And it was what, word on the virtual streets of the post office individuals had to ensure that they carry some form of ID in case they get stopped. So springtime might be the time that this full blown ICE agents in the 50 states, all right, military personnel in all the states. We don't know, but all these things are happening. All these things are being put together, coming together. Okay, but all this is supposed to be these things are intent in the beginning was to put everybody in check. But these people are nothing but reprobates. Matter of fact, I haven't read that in a while. You see, at least you be reprobates. That is, I know it's in Romans, but let me. Oh, east. Uh-huh. What am I doing? I think I spelled it right. Matter of fact, let me just see. Romans first chapter. Maybe it's that one. One and oh, I spelled it wrong. It says and 1:28. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to reprobate mind. Those things which are not convenient, reprobate. Let me see what NLT says. Since they thought it is foolish to acknowledge the Most High, He abandoned them to their foolish thinking and let them do things that should never be done. Let me see what it says for reprobate, but you know what it means. It means void of judgment. Reprobate in the Greek.
Strong's G96, adokimos. Adokimos.
Adakimas. Not standing the test, not approved, properly used as metals and coins, that which is not what was that which does not prove itself such as it ought, unfit for unproved, uh, spanius. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. Spurious, not being what is a part protest purports to be false or fake. Needs to be found fake. This is why when was it 7 years ago? 7 years ago when that thing happened, that was a test. All right, a lot of people had that reprobate spirit in them. They avoided judgment. They didn't pass the test. Okay, they did not pass. They panicked when there was no heat. Now this man is generating enough heat. You could see why people could fold under pressure because the fear. Okay, well we're not no reprobates. We're not. We see things for what it is. These people don't see that their punishment is at hand. And once again, Yahweh Shai is responsible for all this. It says, verse 20, but second Ezra 16 and 20. For all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of their scourges. So a lot of people didn't get the memo. Oh, they got the memo. They heard, they saw with their eyes, they hear with their ears, but they couldn't register. So now it's going to leave the Lord no other choice but to do the thing that we all know the Lord is good at, judgment. When the scripture says that there should be but basically men bodies are going to be like dung in the streets. That should put fear in everybody. They have that ability to do that. So it's not going to take Trump nothing to make it happen. He got so much stuff that's going on. He won't even attack Iran just to get away from the public view of certain dirty secrets. And he's trying his damnedest. Like the video I did the other day, is like an anime um thing of Trump and being a cruel lord. You could tell like he's conflicted in his mind. See, he wants to be loved, but he knows that he is hated. Black him. That he's hated. And how far you think this man is willing to go? This man might just turn around. He just might turn around and do something just to get the admiration of the people again. This, if he could tell, all right. So expect something major to go down, and hopefully it's so major that shut this shit down for good. But hey, that's not our call. We just take things as it is. So with that being said, something real quick to the spirit. Shalom to the elected of the nations. Shalom.